I'm Natalie, 42, a seamstress in a small Ohio town where summers buzz with cicadas and gossip travels faster than the wind. My days revolve around my boutique on Main Street, a warm little shop where I transform fabric into dreams, wedding gowns, prom dresses, anything the heart desires. But my greatest pride is my daughter Zoe. She's 18, with a smile bright enough to cut through any storm and a grit that's carried her through more than her share of trials. I learned to sew as a girl, guided by my grandmother's steady hands, every stitch sewn with love. That same love went into Zoe's graduation dress, ivory chiffon flowing in soft cascades, hand-stitched with silver thread and tiny pearls that shimmered like fireflies. It wasn't just a dress. It was a promise that she deserved to shine. The morning before graduation, I stepped into my boutique's back room where the dress sat safely on a mannequin. My heart seized. The gown lay in ruins, silk and lace ripped apart, strewn across the floor like shattered dreams. Pearls I'd sewn with care rolled under my fingertips as I knelt, my hands trembling. I didn't need proof to know who had done it. The day before, my mother-in-law, Na, had visited, bringing old fabric she said I might like. Her smile had been too forced, her gaze too sharp. She had never accepted Zoe. Since marrying Mark 7 years ago, I'd been the outsider, and Zoe, my daughter from my first marriage, was even less welcome. Na had once told me flat out that Mark deserved a real family, her tone heavy with judgment. Over the years, she had chipped away at Zoe's joy, spilling paint on her art portfolio before an exhibition, forgetting to pass along messages about her art club. Always accidents, according to her. And Mark, sweet as he is, would brush it off. She doesn't mean it, Natalie. She's just set in her ways. But this was no accident. I had spent 7 months on that dress, sewing long into the night after Zoe went to bed, picturing her walking across that stage, head high, wrapped in the certainty that she was loved. Now it was gone, and the ceremony was tomorrow. Anger burned in my chest, but deeper still was fear, that Na's cruelty would rob Zoe of her moment. I wouldn't allow it. Sitting among the wreckage, I swore to myself, Na might have destroyed the dress, but she wouldn't destroy my daughter's day. I grabbed my phone and called Tessa, my best friend and fellow seamstress, my anchor in every storm. Her voice crackled through the line, steady as always. Natalie, what's wrong? You sound like you're about to cry. I told her everything. The ruined gown, Na's visit, the silk scraps still in my hand. Tessa's gasp was sharp. She did what? That's vandalism. You need to call the police. I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me. You know how it goes, Tess. She'll deny it. Mark will smooth it over like always. My voice faltered, and I hated how small it sounded. Mark is a good man, a mechanic who would give anyone the shirt off his back, but when it comes to his mother, he's blind. Years of her guilt and tears have taught him to see her as a saint. So what's the plan? Tessa asked, her tone turning crisp. All business. Zoe's graduation was the next day, and there was no way I could let Envy take this victory. My eyes drifted to the wall calendar where I'd circled her big day in red, adding little stars around it. She had earned every bit of it, straight A's, art prizes, and a speech at the ceremony. She deserved nothing less than perfect. Then a flicker of hope lit inside me. Tessa, remember the emerald dress? I asked, a smile tugging at my lips. The one I made just in case? Tessa let out a relieved laugh. You actually did it, you brilliant maniac. After Na had destroyed Zoe's art portfolio last year, I'd started anticipating her sabotage. Quietly, I'd begun crafting a backup dress, an emerald green gown that shimmered like a moonlit forest, adorned with delicate beadwork that caught the light. I worked on it during lunch breaks and late at night, tucking it away in a garment bag hidden behind old prom dresses at the boutique. Now, I walked to the storage closet, my hands trembling as I unzipped the bag. It was even lovelier than I'd remembered, bold, vibrant, and as full of life as Zoe herself. I snapped a picture and sent it to Tessa. Natalie, she breathed, her voice soft with awe. It's gorgeous. Zoe will adore it. But what about Na? She'll be there, grinning like she's already won. Let her, I said firmly. She thinks she's broken us, but she's about to learn how wrong she is. The jingle of the front door broke the moment. Mom, I'm back from rehearsal, Zoe called. My stomach dropped. She wasn't supposed to see this yet. I hurried the garment bag behind a curtain and stepped into the main shop, bracing myself. She came in, face glowing from her last practice, but the joy faded instantly when her eyes landed on the back room. The shredded ivory fabric, pearls scattered like tears across the floor. It was like watching her heart crack in slow motion. "Mom," her voice trembled. "What happened to my dress?" I pulled her close, feeling her small frame shake. "It was Nah," I murmured, hating how she stiffened at the name. "But she hasn't won, not even close." Zoe pulled back, eyes wet but searching. "The ceremony's tomorrow. What are we going to do?" I reached for the garment bag, my grip steady now. "She thinks she knows us," I said, slowly unzipping it. "But she's never understood what we're capable of." When the emerald dress came into view, Zoe gasped. The sadness in her face melted into awe as her fingers brushed the beadwork, tracing the designs I had sewn with her in mind. "Mom, you made this for me." I nodded, my throat tight. "Because you deserve to shine, no matter what anyone tries to take away." The morning of graduation dawned crisp and clear, Ohio's sky stretching endlessly above us. I was in her room, curling her hair, when Mark peeked in. His gaze went straight to the dress hanging on the door, his brow furrowing. "Natalie, that's not the dress you showed me last week," he said. Keeping my tone even, I pinned another curl. "You might want to ask your mother about that. She stopped by the boutique yesterday while we were out." Mark's frown deepened. "She wouldn't, would she?" I caught his reflection in the mirror. "The pieces are still in my workroom if you want to see them. 7 months of work, gone in minutes." He looked ready to protest, but Zoe's voice cut in, quiet yet steady. "Dad, it's not the first time. Remember my art portfolio? The one she ruined by spilling paint all over it? Or the time she canceled my art show entry, pretending to be Mom?" Mark's expression shifted, the realization slowly clicking into place, but I didn't push him. Today wasn't about him. It was about Zoe. We got to the school early, the parking lot buzzing with families dressed in their Sunday best. Zoe joined the other speakers, her emerald dress catching the sunlight like a gemstone. People turned to look, and pride swelled in me. She belonged on that stage. That's when I spotted Na near the entrance, standing with her husband, George. Her lips tightened as her gaze locked on Zoe's dress, her face twisting into something between shock and anger. "What is she wearing?" she hissed, clutching Mark's arm. "That's not the dress you showed me." I smiled, my voice calm but loud enough for nearby parents to hear. "No, it's not. The one you saw was destroyed yesterday, by someone using a key only family has. Luckily, I always keep a backup." Na's cheeks flushed crimson. George's brow furrowed. "Someone broke in?" he asked. "Not broken," I corrected smoothly. "They used a key. Right, Na?" Before she could answer, the principal called everyone inside. As we took our seats, I caught her whispering to Mark, likely spinning some excuse, but I didn't care. Zoe stepped onto the stage, the lights turning her dress into a glowing forest at dusk. She stood tall, notes in hand, the crowd leaning forward in anticipation. I glanced at Na, sitting rigid a few rows away. She knew something was coming. Zoe began, her voice clear and steady. "Life isn't about the people who try to hold you back," she said, her eyes finding mine in the audience. "It's about how you keep moving forward. Sometimes the ones who should lift you up are the ones who push you down. But strength isn't just standing tall, it's getting back up every single time." The room was silent, gripped by her words. Every line carried the years of Na's sabotage and cruelty. The emerald dress shimmered, a quiet symbol of resilience. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mark wiping away tears. For years, he had dismissed Na's accidents and sharp remarks. Avoiding the truth meant avoiding his own guilt for letting it happen. But now, hearing Zoe, something inside him shifted. When she finished, the applause was thunderous. Parents exchanged whispers, eyes flicking toward Na, who sat frozen in place, her fury barely contained. Zoe returned to her seat, radiating confidence, and I knew Na's plan had spectacularly failed. After the ceremony, we gathered in the parking lot for photos. Na approached, her smile forced. Before she could speak, I pulled a small leather journal from my purse. "Na, let's talk about yesterday," I said, my voice firm but even. I opened the journal and read aloud. March 2 years ago. You spilled paint on Zoe's art portfolio the night before her exhibition. June last year. You called the school pretending to be me, to cancel her art show entry. Her eyes widened. George looked stunned. You kept a record? He asked quietly. Every single incident, I said, flipping through pages filled with dates, witnesses, even a photo of the destroyed portfolio. I knew we'd need proof one day. Mark took the journal, his hands trembling as he read. Mom, he said, his voice breaking. How could you? Zoe's my daughter in every way that matters. She's not your real daughter, Na snapped. But Mark's voice rose, sharper than I'd ever heard. She's more my family than you are right now. Give me your key to our house. You're not welcome back until you make this right. George, reading over his shoulder, turned to Na. Did you really tell Zoe's art teacher she was unreliable just to keep her out of the showcase? His voice carried disbelief and disappointment. Na stammered, but the truth was plain on her face. The rest of the day blurred into celebration. Zoe accepted her diploma, the emerald fabric glowing under the stage lights as the crowd roared. Parents and teachers approached us, praising her poise, her speech, her grace. Every compliment felt like a small victory. A reminder that Na's attempts to tear her down had only made Zoe shine brighter. While posing for photos, I caught Na watching from a distance, her eyes shifting like she was calculating her next move. But this time there was a flicker of fear, not of me, but of what she couldn't control. Zoe's strength, our bond, the truth. That night, we celebrated at Zoe's favorite diner, a cozy place with checkered floors and the best milkshakes in town. Still in her dress, Zoe laughed over fries, free from the weight Na had piled on her for years. Mark reached across the table and took my hand. I'm sorry, Natalie, he said softly. I should have seen it sooner. Zoe leaned in to hug him. You see it now, Dad. That's what matters. My heart swelled. We weren't perfect, but we were stronger. Later, our phones buzzed with notifications. Na had posted a long apology online, announcing she was stepping away from her church and community roles to reflect. Zoe raised an eyebrow over her milkshake. Think she means it? I laughed. Not for a second. But she knows we have enough to destroy her perfect image if she tries again. The journal, the photos, even the security footage from my boutique, they were all safe. Our quiet shield. A few days later, George called. He'd found a box in their attic, broken art supplies, ripped sketches, even a ribbon from Zoe's first art show. She kept them like trophies, he said, disgust heavy in his voice. He was meeting a lawyer about divorce. Justice didn't arrive with fanfare, but it came, steady and undeniable. When I hung Zoe's dress in her closet, the emerald fabric caught the light. It wasn't just a dress. It was proof we could take the worst someone threw at us and turn it into something beautiful. For years, Na tried to dim Zoe's light. All she managed to do was teach us to shine brighter, think sharper, and stand taller. I'd spent those years showing Zoe not just how to survive, but how to thrive. How to meet cruelty with grace and hate with strength. To everyone who's followed our story, thank you. You've been with us through betrayal, heartbreak, and hard-won victory. If this story touched you, hit subscribe and join us. Every stitch, every moment, every fight tells a story of love, resilience, and rising above. Keep weaving your own truth, and I'll see you in the next chapter.